Scorpio. Something is shifting in your energy field. Something powerful, magnetic, and almost impossible to ignore. You've felt it, haven't you? That sudden pull, the echo of a voice from the past, the strange sensation that someone, somewhere, is thinking of you, missing you. What if I told you they're not just missing you? What if I told you they regret everything? And now they're trying to come back. But the real question isn't why they're returning. The real question is, will you let them? Welcome to the Mystic AstroZen, your sacred space for intuitive guidance, cosmic awakenings, and spiritual clarity. Here, we decode the messages written in the stars and unveil what your soul already knows deep down. If you're ready to receive the truth behind this powerful return, and how it's about to shift your destiny, stay with me until the end. What's about to unfold is not just a reading, it's a revelation. There's something in the air, Scorpio. Something restless, something unspoken yet deeply familiar. You can't quite name it, but your soul feels it. A subtle shift in the wind, a whisper in your dreams, a magnetic pull from someone who once meant everything and then vanished. They thought walking away would silence the connection, but they were wrong. The bond you shared wasn't ordinary. It wasn't built on surface-level attraction or fleeting chemistry. No, this was soul-deep, spiritual, timeless. And now, after all this time, they're starting to feel the weight of what they lost. And it's unbearable. You've grown in silence, you've carried the pain without making a sound. The world may have seen your strength, but only you know the nights you cried alone, asking the universe why they chose to let go. But you didn't chase. You didn't beg. Because Scorpio never chases what was meant to stay. You chose evolution. You chose healing. You turned your pain into wisdom and your wounds into armor. And now that you've found yourself again, they're starting to remember what they walked away from, and why no one else could ever compare. They thought they could replace you, but instead, they were met with hollow conversations, empty eyes and connections that lack the soul-shattering intensity you once gave them freely. Everywhere they go, they're haunted by your energy. Songs remind them of you. Certain places echo with your laughter. Their dreams have become portals, pulling them into a world where your voice still lingers like a sacred prayer. And now, they're coming back. But not because they want to, because their soul needs to. They've come to a point where regret weighs heavier than pride, where silence feels colder than your anger, where they realize that what they thought was freedom was actually exile from the only love that ever made them feel truly seen. But here's the real question, Scorpio. Are they coming back changed, or are they just afraid of losing you forever? Because while they were busy forgetting, you were busy remembering who you are. You are transformation. You are fire in stillness. You are the storm that teaches others to breathe in chaos. And now, as the cosmos realign and karmic cycles begin, to close, you're being asked to listen, not just to their words, but to the vibration behind them. This is not just a return, it's a reckoning. And deep down, you've known this moment was coming. So brace yourself, Scorpio. The past is knocking and it wants another chance. But this time you get to decide how the story ends. Right now, Scorpio, the universe is speaking in symbols. Through the stars, the sky, the shifting winds of energy that only your soul can truly decode. You're not imagining this heaviness or sudden emotional pull. Something deep within the cosmic current is moving, and it's bringing unfinished soul contracts back into your orbit. The past isn't circling back by accident. There's a reason this person has resurfaced in your thoughts, your memories, your dreams. It's because the celestial alignments, particularly those involving retrogrades, lunar cycles, and karmic conjunctions, are stirring old energies from beneath the surface. Mercury may be retracing its steps, or Venus may be dancing backward through emotional terrain, dragging lost loves and unresolved truths back to the forefront of your destiny. And when these cosmic threads begin weaving again, Scorpio feels it before anyone else. Not in the mind, but in the bones. This isn't just planetary, it's personal. The energy around you is asking you to awaken to patterns you've healed from, and to confront the emotional echoes of a love that once shook your foundation. During this time, you may feel unusually nostalgic, emotionally triggered, or even torn between the urge to look back and the need to move forward. That's not weakness. That's your intuitive radar picking up on karmic vibrations. Your aura is glowing brighter now, Scorpio, more magnetic than it's been in months. Why? Because you've evolved. You're vibrating at a higher frequency, and those who once took your energy for granted are now feeling the loss of it. The person who left didn't expect you to rise, to become whole without them. But here you are, standing taller, wiser, with eyes that no longer seek validation, only truth. That's why they're being pulled back. You're no longer the same Scorpio they once knew, and yet they feel compelled to find you again, not just because they miss you, but because their soul knows you were part of their original blueprint. The universe in its infinite intelligence is presenting you with a choice, not a test but an invitation. An invitation to decide if this energy belongs in your new chapter or was meant to stay in the old one. This moment is about reclaiming your narrative, Scorpio, and reading the stars for what they truly are, reflections of your own inner transformation, as above, so below, as within, so without. And right now, all signs point to one undeniable truth. This return is written in the stars, but only you can choose what page it turns. The person who let you go, Scorpio, didn't walk away without feeling the fracture in their soul. They just weren't ready to face it then. At the time, they may have acted indifferent, distracted, or even cold, but deep down, they were running from something they didn't understand, the intensity of being truly seen. You didn't just offer love, you offered transformation, and that scared them more than losing you ever did. They might have told themselves it wasn't the right time, or that they needed freedom, or worse, that they could find someone easier, softer, less complicated. But none of it was true. What they really couldn't handle was the mirror you held up to their soul. You saw the parts of them they spent their whole life hiding. You touched wounds they didn't know how to heal. And instead of growing with you, they chose the illusion of control. They thought leaving would bring relief. Instead, it brought silence, the kind that echoes in empty rooms and restless dreams. They tried to replace you, Scorpio. They distracted themselves with new people, new adventures, shallow conversations, and temporary highs. But nothing filled the void you left. No one else laughed like you. No one else challenged them to rise. No one else burned like you, fierce and unforgettable. With every passing day, they've come to realize that letting you go wasn't freedom. It was exile. And now, the weight of that decision is suffocating them. They replay your last words. They remember how you loved them when they were unlovable. They see now that you were not just a chapter, you were the whole story, and they closed the book too soon. They're haunted, Scorpio. Haunted by the possibility that they may never get another chance, that you've outgrown them, that your silence means they've truly lost you. But their soul won't let them forget. The regret is no longer just a passing feeling, it's embedded in every choice they make. They're awakening finally to the truth you already knew, that what you shared wasn't ordinary. It was sacred, fated, and no matter how far they run, they keep circling back to the same place, you. Now, they're wondering if the door is still open, if there's even a sliver of a chance to explain, to apologize, to rebuild. But the question is no longer whether they want to come back, it's whether you'll let them. Because this time the roles have reversed. They're the one hoping, waiting, praying. And you, Scorpio, hold the power to decide if this is redemption or closure. You may not have heard from them yet, Scorpio, but their energy is already moving toward you, quietly, steadily, like a tide that cannot be stopped. The signs are all around you, subtle but undeniable. It begins with a whisper in the back of your mind, a sudden memory, a song on the radio that once meant something only the two of you understood. You start to see their name unexpectedly, feel their presence in the silence between your thoughts, and dream of them even when you've tried to forget. That's not coincidence. That's the vibration of a soul trying to reconnect. You might have noticed a strange restlessness in your spirit, a flicker of old emotions rising out of nowhere, as if the past is knocking, not with regret, but with purpose. They've been watching, Scorpio, maybe from a distance, maybe through social media, or through mutual friends. They haven't said anything yet, but they've been gathering the courage. You might see them liking old photos, viewing your stories, showing up in places you didn't expect. Perhaps they've already sent you that vague message. Hey, I've been thinking about you. Or maybe they haven't said a word, but the universe is doing the speaking for them, through repeating numbers like 1111 or 222, through feathers on your path, or through that overwhelming gut feeling that someone is on their way back. They might try to play it cool, pretend they just want to check in to catch up. But beneath those words is a trembling hope that you'll still let them in. And even if you don't hear from them directly, their spirit is already calling out to you. The emotional bond never truly broke, it just went quiet. Now it's awakening. What's more telling than words is the shift in your own energy. Suddenly you find yourself more introspective, more open to the possibility of the past returning in a new form. Your intuition sharpens. You feel things you can't explain. That's because their soul is speaking to yours, even before the apology arrives. The universe is clearing the way. Unexpected delays, emotional dreams, random encounters, all are signals that this chapter isn't over yet. The pull is mutual. The signs are everywhere. The only question now is, when they finally find the courage to return, will your heart still be open, or has time already sealed the door? When this person finally reaches out, Scorpio, your heart won't respond with immediate joy. It will pause, hesitate, and then flood with a mixture of emotions that words can't quite define. There's a storm inside you, quiet but relentless. You've waited so long for an answer, for clarity, for a sign that you weren't the only one who felt the depth of what you shared. But now that it's here, you're not sure if you're ready to open that door again. There's a part of you that still aches, not because you haven't healed, but because healing didn't erase the memory. You remember the silence that followed their absence, the hollow nights, the unanswered questions that made you doubt your own worth. And yet, there's another part of you, the softer, wiser, more awakened self, that recognizes this return as something written long ago, on a chapter left unfinished, a thread still glowing with sacred fire. You feel their energy before they speak. You sense their hesitation, their remorse, their longing, and it stirs something inside you, something raw and ancient. You don't want to be fooled again, Scorpio. You don't want to reopen wounds that finally began to scar over. But still, there's that question echoing in your soul. What if this time is different? What if they've changed? What if you're not just revisiting the past, but rewriting it? Your intuition becomes your compass. You study every word, every silence, every inconsistency. You no longer romanticize. You observe. You protect your peace like a temple, knowing you've worked too hard to rebuild what they once walked away from, and yet you also feel the pull, not toward them but toward truth. You want to know if this connection was meant to die or transform. The strength you've cultivated makes you fearless now. You're not the same Scorpio they left behind. You've loved yourself back to life. You've faced the shadows alone. So when they come back, you won't be the one clinging. You'll be the one choosing. And your choice won't come from desperation or loneliness. It will come from clarity. You may forgive, but that doesn't mean you forget. You may open your heart, but that doesn't mean you abandon your boundaries. And if you let them in again, it will be on your terms. Sacred, slow, intentional. Because now, Scorpio, you understand something vital. Anyone who wants to be in your life must rise to meet the version of you that survived the storm. If they could speak from the deepest part of their soul, Scorpio, this is what they would say, not with pride or polished words, but with trembling honesty and the rawness of a heart that finally understands what it lost. I wasn't ready. I didn't know how to love someone who saw me so clearly. You weren't just another person to me, you were a mirror. And when I looked into you, I saw everything I was too afraid to face in myself. So I ran. I told myself it was easier to leave than to try, easier to bury the feeling than to admit how much you mattered. But the truth is, I never stopped thinking about you. Not for a day, not for a moment. Everything since you has felt gray, dull, and lifeless. I tried to move on. I tried to pretend. But nothing, no one, touched my soul the way you did. You were the calm in my chaos, the fire in my numbness. I didn't say it then, but I felt it, all of it. And I know I broke something in you when I left. I see that now. I feel it every night when your memory pulls at my chest like a thread I can't cut. I'm not coming back because I'm lonely. I'm coming back because I've changed. Because I've grown. Because the emptiness finally taught me what your love was really worth. And if you still have space in your heart, even a corner, I'd give everything to rebuild what we lost. I don't expect you to forget. I don't expect you to trust me overnight. But I'm not here for a second chance at romance. I'm here for redemption. I want to make peace with the past. I want to honor what you gave me. I want to show you that I finally see what you saw in me. And more importantly, I see you. I remember your laughter, your silence, your wild heart that loved me when I didn't deserve it. And if the door isn't closed forever, I promise to walk through it differently this time, not with hesitation, but with devotion. That's what their soul longs to tell you, Scorpio. Whether the words ever leave their lips is unknown, but this is the frequency of their heart. And you, as always, can hear what others cannot. Now that the moment has arrived, Scorpio, and the one who once walked away is reaching out again, your heart stands at a powerful crossroads. The universe is not simply giving you a return, it's giving you a choice. This is not just about love. It's about truth, sovereignty, and alignment. You are no longer the person you were when they left. You have bled, healed, risen, and your energy now commands respect. So when they come back, look past the apology, past the longing in their eyes, past the carefully chosen words. Look into the energy beneath it all. Is this return rooted in genuine transformation, or is it desperation disguised as romance? Are they here to grow with you, or to repeat a cycle you've already outgrown? You know better than anyone, Scorpio, that not every connection is meant to be rekindled. Some are meant to break us open, shake us awake, and leave us changed. The pain they caused was real. The silence, the abandonment, the confusion. They carved deep marks into your emotional memory, and you have every right to protect the version of yourself who survived it. But you also know that your soul is wise enough to recognize real change. If this person has done the inner work, if their return is not built on guilt, but on growth, then maybe, just maybe, there's something sacred left to explore. Maybe this connection wasn't meant to die but to evolve. Only you can know for sure. Trust the signals from your body, your dreams, your gut. Listen to the way your heart responds when they speak. Does it tighten in warning or soften in peace? You are not obligated to take back someone just because they've returned. Closure can be a conversation, but it can also be a door you choose to keep closed with grace. What matters now is that whatever decision you make, it comes from power, not pain. You are not choosing from loneliness but from clarity. You are not the one waiting, you are the one deciding. And if you do choose to let them back into your life, it must be with new terms, new boundaries, and a new awareness that this love must now match your evolution. If they cannot rise to meet you where you are now, emotionally, spiritually, and energetically, then their return is not a blessing but a distraction. You are the storm and the stillness. The question is not whether they want you back. The question is, do they deserve the version of you that rose from the ashes? If you do choose to let them back into your life, Scorpio, let it be on your terms, not as a continuation of the old story, but as the sacred beginning of something entirely new. This love cannot be resurrected using the same tools that broke it. If the past is to be rewritten, it must be done with truth, intention, and a deep respect for the transformation you've undergone. The old version of you tolerated silence, accepted half love, and gave more than you received. But that version is gone. Now, your love is a gift, not a lifeline. So the first rule is this: boundaries are non-negotiable. If they cannot honor your space, your pace, and your emotional safety, then they are not ready to re-enter your universe. You're not here to fix anyone. You're here to witness their rise. If they want to be close to you, they must meet you where you are. And that means showing up consistently, speaking truth even when it's uncomfortable, and proving their intentions through aligned action, not empty promises. The second rule is slowness. No rushing back into fantasy. No losing yourself in a whirlwind of what-ifs or nostalgia. This time you move intentionally. This time love must unfold like a sacred ritual, step by step, with presence and honesty. If they flinch at your standards, let them go. If they shrink in the face of your power, they are not your partner. They are a lesson. The third rule is awareness. Keep your eyes open. Don't ignore red flags just because you miss the comfort of their voice. Observe how they handle your strength, how they navigate your stillness, how they respond when you say no. These are the moments that reveal the truth. And finally, Scorpio, the most important rule is this: never abandon yourself to hold on to someone else. You did that once, and it nearly destroyed you. This time your loyalty belongs first to your soul. Anyone who returns must learn how to love you without dimming your fire or caging your wildness. And if they can't, let them remember you from a distance. You've become too rare to be mishandled, too wise to be deceived, too whole to be halved. If this is to be a reunion, it must be built on truth, growth, and divine alignment, or not at all. Scorpio, the universe whispers this truth into the chambers of your heart. Not all returns are meant to be restorations. Some are awakenings. This person's reappearance in your life is not a sign to lose yourself again, but a sacred moment of alignment meant to show you just how far you've come. You are not being tested, you are being shown. Shown the difference between who you were and who you are now, between what you once accepted in the name of love and what you now require in the name of self-respect. This return is not just about them. It's about you. It's about your healing, your evolution, and your ability to stand at the edge of what was and still choose what will be. You are being reminded of your strength, Not the kind that fights, but the kind that walks away with grace when something no longer serves your soul. If they have changed, you will feel it in the energy, not in their words, but in their presence. And if they haven't, you will know without needing confirmation. Because your intuition no longer whispers, it roars. You've walked through fire, Scorpio, and emerged with skin made of stars and bones wrapped in truth. You've earned the right to demand love that is sacred, not situational. Love that is clear, not confusing. Love that feels like coming home, not like being lost. And if this person has truly returned to honor that kind of love with you, then the universe smiles, because two souls have remembered each other in divine time. But if not, then let them go with peace in your heart, knowing that some souls were meant to cross paths just long enough to wake you up to your own light. Your destiny is not bound by another's regret. Your future is not delayed by someone else's apology. You are allowed to choose yourself again and again, until someone sees your worth not as a mystery to solve, but as a miracle to protect. The universe has watched you grieve, grow, and rise. Now it offers you this moment not as a reward but as a reflection of your strength, your clarity, your sacred power. Whatever you choose, Scorpio, know this: you are not losing love. You are learning what love truly is, and the right soul will never make you question it. And now, Scorpio, as the energy settles and your heart holds all that was just revealed, remember this: the power has always been within you. Whether you choose to open the door or keep it gently closed, know that the universe supports your decision because it honors your growth. You are not who you were. You are the transformed, the reborn, the phoenix rising. If this message resonated with your spirit, trust that it reached you for a reason. There are no accidents in energy, only divine timing. And as your path continues to unfold, know that you are never walking it alone. Here, at the Mystic AstroZen, we walk with you. We create sacred space for your healing, your clarity, and your cosmic rebirth. So if your soul feels aligned, we invite you to subscribe, to stay connected, and to journey with us through astrology, intuitive guidance, and spiritual awakening. Drop a comment below and tell us, what are you choosing now? Has someone returned from your past, and what will you do with that moment? Your story matters, and your voice is part of this sacred circle. Until we meet again, Scorpio, keep listening to your intuition. Keep honoring your heart. And most of all, keep becoming everything you were born to be. The stars are watching, the universe is cheering, and your soul is ready. We'll see you in the next transmission.